Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Hollow's Heart. So yeah, let us begin, shall we, ladies and gents? So we would go back to Izuku after that conversation with the demon known as, yeah, Grimori, or Grimori, as while he was packing up all of his things to get out of get out of the fortress that was made to supposedly to defeat the order in that area, but unfortunately, because of a few episodes ago, let's just say they were slaughtered. So as Izuku was packing up all of his things, as in packing up all of his things, I mean barely anything, he would look towards his quote-unquote wife. As he would look towards her, as he would say, "So you're coming with me?" As she would say, the woman known as Hera, aka the Chimera. Uh, yeah, thinking about it, I should not have thought it should rhyme. Okay, mate. So, as Hera would say, do you think we can go? As he would say, please no talking. As she would say, oh, I see. Said the goat side of her personality, as the more prideful side, as in the dragon, would say, look, husband, after learning about your situation, I wanted to say that I wanted to help, as he would say, I do not need help. As after saying this, he would grab all of his things, as he would say, so, are we gonna go or not? As she would say, "Mm, yeah. Um, since I'm a native here, I can certainly help you," said her more goat personality, as you'd say, "at least you're useful for something." As after saying that, she would say, hmm, look, um, Izuku. As he would say, my name is not Izuku. As she would say, look, look, everything I knew about you is pretty little, so please, I just want to help you, okay? As she would say, says the girl that tried to violate me. As she would say, to be fair, as he would say, whatever, let's just go, he would say. As after saying it, he would get out of the tent as he would go towards where Grimori and the Amazoness, also known as Diana, would be. As Grimori would say, oh, it's super sad that you decided to leave so early, she would say. As after saying it, Izuku would just look at her as he would say, yeah, whatever, he would say. As she would say, here, this will help you in your journey. As she would give something to him. After looking at it, Izuku would see it seems to be some sort of card, as it's in a language that he doesn't really know. As she would say, oh, don't worry. This is a special card that helps you go through much more easier in monster friendly places. It will also give you a special type of the protection, specifically towards those that want to. Well, she would start gesturing with a more gesturing towards a, yeah, let's just say a really phallic act. Okay, god damn it. As Izuku obviously not, or Izu not really wanting to deal with this anymore, he would say, thank you, Grimori. I should be leaving now. As she would say, okay, try not to hurt yourself and your wife, she would say. As after saying these words, he would just look towards her and would say, whatever, he would say. As he would start leaving to go to where his wife, or quote unquote wife, aka Hera, would start aka Hera. As after arriving where Hera is, which is in the front of the entrance of the fortress, he would say, "So where are we leaving to first?" He would say, obviously being curious on where they're going first. And she would say, "Oh, we're first gonna go to a settlement. It's a monster-friendly capital. I believe it was called. Um, I'm just gonna say it. It's named Kaled. Not to be confused with Kaled, aka the HIV swamp over there, aka the land of the. Oh God, I'm poisoned, but worse. So yeah, so as while they were leaving the fortress, somebody was watching them, being that of the High Orc. As she would say, um, hey, as she would look towards her boss, as being that of Grimori, she would say, "Oh, what is it, Yuruni?" As as after Yuruni looked at her, she would say, "Well, I want to." As she would say, "So you also fall in love with him?" As she would say, "Yes, he did defeat me, so." As she would say, "Oh, don't worry. I'll allow you to stay with them. But I think it's better if you start hurrying. After all, they're already starting to leave the area now." As she would say, "Really?" As she would say, "Yes. Now, run along now. I should also be getting ready myself. After all, I should report this back to the Demon Lord." As saying this, she would look at her as she would say, "Very well. Um, Thank you for everything," she would say, as she would jump off the, I guess you'd say, lookout tower, and would start leaving to go and grab her stuff to leave. As Grimori would say this to herself, "Oh, Izuku, you're certainly gonna shake up this world, sooner or later at least." And so, we would go back to Izuku once again. As Izu is just somewhat floating. He's more like using his spiritual pressure to basically, or spiritual energy to basically float. As while doing so, the his chimera wife, aka Hera, would say, "So Izu, we should also probably get you some clothes as well." As Izuku would look at her, as he would say, "What is wrong with my attire?" As she would say, "Well, considering you're wearing all white, it will probably be really noticeable," said the goat half. As the lion half would say, "I do have to agree. I mean, it would probably be snuck up easily," and as he would say, "Why? Besides, I still have my Zanpakuto here. And also, why are you so concerned about my clothing?" As she would say, "Well, I just want you to wear something different. Yeah." As the snake half would say, "What about something a little bit more risque?" she would say. As the goat half would say, um, "Yeah, that could work." As the lion half would just go back and say, "No, girls, stop. Uh, Besides, I just wanted to wear something a little bit more breathable and less noticeable. Somebody might confuse it with a noble and try to, well, there's actually a few different types of monster girls that would definitely want to get a royal. Wait for a second. Would definitely try and get you immediately." As when Izuku heard that, he would say, "I see. Then, if that's so, guess I'll just have to change my clothes then. Though, what am I supposed to wear?" As while they're talking, they would not notice but a few people, or at least a monster would notice them. as the monster would start slowly slithering and then speeds off towards Izuku at full speed. But before Izuku can actually can get ready his Zanpakuto, he'll get slammed into the ground by this creature. As Izuku would say, "What in the?" As he would look up and would see the Wurm. Please do not set me to the Shadow Realm, YouTube. Please do not. As the Wurm would grab him by the neck, as she would say, fresh meat, she would say, as she would open up her mouth, as Izuku would say, "Get away from me!" As you would start charging up a blast, as you'd say, "Bala!" He would say, slamming his fist into her stomach, causing her to wince, but not even care, as she would grab Izuku by the face and does crash lips. Yep. As Izuku's mouth was being explored by the now really interested Wurm. Uh, currently currently Hera is pretty fucking pissed, as she would start slowly charging up energy around herself. Purple lightning would slowly start sparking from the snake tail from her back, as she would say, "Nobody Nobody touches him," she would say, as she would spit out the poisonous lightning towards the Wurm, as the Wurm would dodge while also still keeping Izuku in her grasp. As while this was happening, the now High Orc, now known as Yurini, as I'm gonna call her because I just searched up like random orc orc female names, and this is what came up. So yeah, Yurini would start running towards the direction of where they are, as they would, or at least she would see Izuku being taken by a Wurm. As when she saw this, she would say this to herself, "Dang it, he's been taken," she would say, as she would jump off from the tree that she was standing on and would start moving out to try and go, bring him back. As when Hera saw her, she would say, "Wait, what are you doing here?" she would say, as Yurini would just say, I wanted to join you guys. Anyway, we should probably get Izu. We should probably get Izu now," she would say, as she would say, "Right," as the saying it in her more, I guess you could say, lion personality, as she would bring up her wings and would start flying towards Izuku, or at least flying towards where Izuku is and the Wurm currently. As Izuku was dragged into a large, somewhat dank cave, as Izuku would be slammed against the wall by the Wurm, as she would say, "Man, meat," she would say, as she would be crawling against the ground, as she would grab onto Izuku's clothes, as Izuku's clothes would be torn off him. After doing so, Izuku would be in his birthday suit at this point, as Izuku would say, "Damn it, my Zanpakuto!" As before he can actually grab it, the worm would basically grab him by the arms and would be, I guess you could say putting them up into his, basically folding his arms near to his back, making him immobile. As the worm's the tail would slowly start slinking towards Izuku's body, wrapping around his chest and his waist, as she would say, "Mate, give me meat," she would say, as she would grab Izuku's face with her hands and would start exploring his mouth once again, as Izuku would be whimpering, thinking to himself, "No, no more, please." As while thinking this, could fall to sleep. And so this is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. So yeah, so bye bye.